Hello everyone, I am Akhilesh Kumar Soni, Assistant Professor from MH College, Muradabad. Today I am here for my seminar presentation for FIP 19 conducted by powered by AMU. I have prepared my seminar presentation on the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, composed by Rabindranath Tagore. First of all, let's talk about the historical background of the poem. The poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, or its alternative title is The Heaven of Freedom. The poem was probably originally composed in 1900 under the title Prarthana, which means prayer. And in 1901, the poem appeared in a volume called Naibed. And in 1911, the poet Tagore himself translated this poem from original Bengali version to English. And we all know that in 1912, this translation appears as a Psalm 35 in his now Nobel-winning anthology Gitanjali, which was published by Indian Society, London in 1912. Of course, with a glittering and knowledgeable introduction by W.B. Yeats. In short, this is the historical background of the poem. Let's move on to the contextual background of the poem. What is the context of the poem? We all know that India achieved freedom in 1947. So, the poem was composed and published in an era where India was not an independent country. It was under the government of United Kingdom, or you can say it was a slave country. Numerous freedom fighters, agitators, Indian people were fighting and struggling passionately to achieve their freedom. Now, in this context, the poet, the visionary Tagore appears with his poem. And as a visionary, he visualizes an ideal condition where the people of India should march on, what the people of India should achieve, what kind of freedom they should nourish in their heart. And Tagore unlocks his own vision of freedom in this poem throughout the poem. In the very first line of the poem, the word is where. Where itself signifies a special kind of place, a special kind of Indian utopia where everything is perfect. Tagore wants that in India everything should be perfect. Tagore wants that India should go forward to an ideal state, to a utopian state where people are born and lived ideally, where there is no corruption, where there is no starvation, the problem of unemployment, and the problem of terrorism also. Now, this was the historical background of the poem. Let's move on to the lines of the poem, how he has written, how he has composed this poem. First line reads, Where the mind is without fear. In the very first line, the poem is composed as a form of prayer, and in the very first line, poet Tagore prays to the Almighty to lead his country to the freedom of fear, to the state where people should be free, where the mind is without fear. Mind means knowledge. Mind signifies scholarly people. Mind signifies intellectuals of the country. Tagore feels that for the development of the country, for the ideal growth and development of the country, intellectual people should be free and there should be no bondage, there should be no barriers on education. On one hand, he wants to suggest us that education should be free to all and everyone should be given equal opportunity to achieve education, to get education. And on the other hand, probably Tagore also wants to say that there should be no censorship on scholars, because in those eras, in that period, there was censorship also. There were many kind of censorships present. And in the next line he says that where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic. Tagore appears to be a supporter of greater India, greater unified India probably, and he thinks that there should be no division of people on the basis of caste, color, religion, creed, traditions, whatever you can say. There should be no division, no discrimination among people. He wants to say that Indian people should live unitedly. Indian people should be united. There should be no division. World should not be broken up into fragments. That means he has used the word. Let's talk about the word world. He has not used India. Quite deliberately, he has not used the word India. He has used the word world. Probably he wants the whole world to be united. He wants to suggest that there should be no quarrels, there should be no needless wars in the world. He thinks that, he believes the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Probably Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means the earth itself is a family, and this line of Tagore proves that he is the supporter of the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, because he has used the term world. He has not used the term India. He has also written where words come out from the depth of truth. He is the supporter of truth also. He feels that Indian people should lead a life based on truth. They should live reasonably. They should not adopt evil means to attain their freedom or attain any kind of achievements in their life. He feels that Indian people should live truthfully. Their life should be based on truth. And in later lines, he has compared by using a metaphor to compare the region with a clear stream of a river, and by making and by writing many metaphors, by making use of many metaphors, he has propounded his theory, he has propounded his point, and at last he invokes God, he prays God to lead his countrymen and his country to an ideal state where everything should be perfect. He also appears a revolutionary thinker and a thinker ahead of his time when he tells that his country India should march forward to an ideal state where everything should be perfect, where there is no problems, either spiritually or intellectually. In short, this was my observation on the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear. Thank you.